Good morning, Mercy. Good to have you.
Thank you, Chimeze, and thank you, Channels Television, for having me. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you. And Merry Christmas to Channels viewers.
Same to you. Now, 2020 presented a world divided by hope and fear. Now, we saw the emergence of COVID-19. How was it for you, doing your digital business or ICT?
Yes. For me, I would say 2020 has been a blessing. I'm one of those people that would say that this year has been a huge blessing because I've gotten to expose myself and pivoted my business in ways that I cannot even begin to comprehend, i.e., as an agilist and a heavily data-driven individual, I've seen how COVID has actually disrupted a lot of businesses, made people, according to BBC, 1.3 million jobs are gone in the UK, and The Guardian, 4 million jobs gone in the US, and we know the unemployment gap in Nigeria is 6.3. So, but right now we don't even know the data of how many jobs that are lost in Nigeria. A lot of banks, no thanks to COVID now, have rescinded a lot of their back offices. So a lot of works are now skeletal because everybody has digitally transformed their processes. So for me, 2020 has been a huge blessing. It has helped me to pivot the business in a way that I cannot. And I would say that even in the process of doing that, it wasn't about the cash cow for me making money. I've trained over 2,000 people. 75% of those are women in digital marketing skills, and now finally pivoted in May into agile digital transformation, and which has brought an array of open opportunities for Lentor, partnering up with scrum.org. And
now, when you talk about agile, before I get in there, you're talking about how, well, even though a lot of businesses have suffered, for you, who is in ICT, and a lot of other ICT practitioners seem to have capitalized on this opportunity to actually grow. Now, in Nigeria, we know that women are dramatically underrepresented in the ICT field. Women are also more strongly, represented in lower level of ICT. So I'm just wondering how you were able to,
I think it's best that I share my story because my story connects more with people. I'm 3 years short of 50 years old, right? And it's not as if I have 20 years or 25 years of experience, because a lot of people would think, oh, I need to have this experience, get this degree. As you know, Nigeria, we're heavy on certification. I have to be MBA, I have to be MSc, I have to be BSc.
I mean, you were a banker.
Yes, I was a banker and I worked with Channels as well. So in my journey of dabbling, just learning this and learning that, all of those experiences formed. I had a midlife crisis, 2017. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And all of a sudden, going to the UK, I was exposed to this agile opportunities, because the opportunities that come with this space, not just digital marketing, which everybody's running in that direction, but agile. An average salary for a Scrum Master is $135,000 US per annum. So, and people are here in Nigeria, some people that are exposed are beginning to get those opportunities. So for me, it's not so much of having that long term, and even doing what I'm doing with Lentor right now, training women, opening up opportunities, because I've told you I've trained 2,000 people for free, majority of them for free. The only time that I've made money, and it's still for free, because the entry for you to take this certification in the Agile Scrum or Scrum Master is 2,000, 1,005. It depends on who the trainer is. But because of the collaboration with Lentor and this international organization that are the most sought after certification, it has made the entry easier. Guess what? Many women are not applying. I will get data.
Why? Why really?
Now, this is where the beauty is. I mean, having to do this COVID and generating a lot of data. So what I've seen that women connect more with is digital marketing. Why? Because we are hustlers. We want to sell. We are good at buying and selling. I sell okrika today. I sell shoe tomorrow. It is wig now that is in vogue.
Like when you go on Instagram, you see a lot of businesses.
A lot of people want to learn digital marketing skill to be able to sell their product. But those are survival skills. It's not what will give you global competitive edge. Like the reason that a lot of jobs in the US are going to India, going to Asia, is simply because they have learned the right skills, and which is data analytics, GDPR, Agile Scrum, project management, product owner, business analysis. And that is what Lento offered the first cohort, which was such a huge success. Even Scrum.org was shocked at the results that we recorded from our current students. It's unprecedented. And 80% of them are volunteering for organization in the UK as I speak with you because of the opportunity that Agile Space presents to us. This survival mode of I have to win, I have to sell. You can't sustain it, and that's why we don't have successive generational wealth in Africa. We keep building, we start, we don't finish, we start, we don't finish. But in the Agile, it says start to finish. Everything you start, you must finish, because there's a process, there's a structure.
When you, can I understand this Agile system? You call yourself agility.
Agile. So what is Agile? Is a mindset. So a group of 17 people 20 years ago came about and said, come, there are better ways of working. Let's uncover it and be able to. So they now came up with a set of rules, values that galvanizes. And under Agile, there are 27 framework that is embedded on Agile. Say Scrum, Safe, and Kanban. And they are the most popularly used globally. But the interesting thing is we don't have the skill set in Africa. We are the most brilliant. We are the most agilist because we know what it means to adapt. Being an agilist means you adapt to change very quickly. It means that I want to have this show, morning, sunrise. There's segments. You have put them. We have to do this first, then we go to the next. And you deliver them iteratively, incrementally. And that is how you ship out product. Amazon, Facebook, Uber, Google, they keep doing this and developing product incrementally and shipping it to the market for people to have access to it. But it's not just going online, which is where the disconnect is. We're very big on certification, right? It's not just going online and say, let me go and take the certification, because on scrum.org, you can go online and take the certification, $150, sit it, but many people fail it at most of their first attempt. So that's why they need a trainer to come and train them. So this is where the disconnect is with Africans. And for me, I think we can change the trajectory. Lento has started doing that, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
So having worked in this sector, what digital skill gaps have you observed, and what are the opportunities, not just for women, but for youth? We're talking about job creation here. You did mention
Absolutely.
the unemployment rate, and I mean, with COVID-19 presenting the new normal.
Yes.
I mean, perhaps these days you just have to be on the internet.
Yes, and the irony is social media statistic that came out in August says Nigeria is #1 in terms of social media usage. It's not as if we're not. Mary Lanier, my friend, will say that if you buy 1,000 naira data and you have not learnt anything using that data, he said you have gone to school, and no, you have paid tuition, but are not attending classes, so you have just wasted money. So Nigeria, we are consumers. What are the opportunities that are in this space? #1, I've told you the average salary, yeah? I've told you Lento Cohort 1 that just finally graduated, 80% of them are getting hands-on experience, which we don't have because many organizations are not operating the Agile way because of the patriarchal structure of Africa and the hierarchical structure. So we command, we control. But what Agile does, it creates a flat line for organization so that there's a good feedback loop that keeps going in. This is what we need to improve. This is what we need to adapt. This is what we need to change. So what are the opportunities? #1, our students need to learn right. I'll give you a case in point. 2 of my children, 12 years and 14, they are certified as Agile Scrum Masters because they participated in my training. Because that's the future. I'm not going to produce, we know that we have so many unemployment right now. I mean, high rate of unemployment because we have graduates that are unemployable. They can't even write letter. When you had me on this show, I told you, on Google Insight, in 2020, they are learning how to write a formal letter That is a problem because our education system has failed. I don't want to be against the government, but I just feel they don't know what to do. And they keep bringing expatriates into the country with a solution mindset to a culturally diverse problem. We have, number one, a mindset issue. It's not because there's no internet. People are on the internet, but what are you doing on the internet is key. If you want to become a GDPR consultant, GDPR is a big deal now. It came up 2018 and it went into law. An average salary for a GDPR analyst, if you understand data, data privacy protection, which I had a DPO on my facilitator, I'm not the one training them. I had to seek out the best of the best to train these people because I don't want to be jack of all trade, mastering none. My data analyst, Deji Folari, is a Microsoft most valuable professional. There are not many in Africa. So you can see the gap. And Africans, we are not learning the right skill. So this gives me a serious concern. And I know that in a population of 200 million Nigeria, there's so much that needs to be done. It's not just buying and selling. That is not the way. Look at how many businesses, if I ask you, name some businesses in the 80s, how many of them are alive today? We had Michelin, we had Dunlop, we had Bata, we had all these companies. But they are dead. No structure, no processes, no people with the right skill to help take this business from this generation to the next. But we know Toyota, we know Google, we know McDonald's, we know KFC. What did they do right that we can't do? Uber doesn't own one single car on the street, but they control the car industry. They drove all the other taxi businesses out of the way. Airbnb does not have one single building, but they are the one controlling because of digital transformation.
Mercy, you did mention the education system, and then with this agile system you were talking about, is there a way we can actually restructure our curriculum, our educational curriculum, to ensure that when we are teaching our children, particularly ICT, since we're saying that, look, this is the future, this is the way to go, even not just here in the developed economies.
Yes.
I mean, ICT is what it is. So how do we begin to restructure and change our curriculum to ensure that our youth, not just but the women and the boys, yes.
So now, number one, I'll take a story, but I'll just quickly say this. From what I gathered, in China, they start training their children ICT skill from age 4. That's why they're whiz. There's a boy, he's called 10-year-old, Ryan. He's on YouTube. He made $28 million in 2018, 26 million US dollars in 2019. He's 10 because the mother has seen a cash cow leveraging YouTube. Now, in COVID, because I saw there's a pain point, because what drives Lentor is to move people forward digitally and to bridge the skill gap. So what did I do? I created this training. After the show, I went online, created a training for 6 to 18. I've seen it, it works. I remember one CNN person saying that, how were you able to get the children to learn? 2 hours. Parents, the videos are on my YouTube channel. They can go there, Lento. We're shocked at the way these children, a 9-year-old created animated cartoon, which she learned within 2 weeks. A 9-year-old was able to create games. And you know what? She now built a website. It might not be perfect, but that girl has learned a valuable skill that she would never learn within the 4 walls of Nigerian institution. So that is what we need to start doing. Let's stop focusing on bringing, oh, yes, the West. They are privileged. For me, as a startup, EFCC came up with this Skumu thing that we need to get it done and all that. Do you know that for me to get that Skumu, I need to pay 35,000 naira for me to get it into somebody's pocket? I've applied 7 times, it didn't come through. The West has an enabling environment. Nigerians, we don't. Our education system is a failure because until we start to introduce, and I'm not talking about scratch, just doing scratch in school and say you are doing ICT. That is not ICT. You need to expose these children to the agile way of working so that when they're out of job, they can get international jobs. There are companies coming from the US to Nigeria. They are looking for agilists. They can't find. They will now need to ship expatriate from India, from China, from any other country, because they have the skills. Until we Nigerians start to learn the right skills, getting exposed in design thinking, which is one of the courses we are going to be offering in cohort 2, design thinking, business analysis, agile scrum, and getting an international certification that ordinarily costs $1,005 to $2,000. But because of the entry and the pain point that this organization have seen that Lento does, they've partnered up with me, Kanban University and Scrum.org. This is an opportunity, and I'm grateful for Channels for having us on this program, for us to be able to shed the light.
Yeah. Now, going into 2021, what do you hope for?
Going into 2021,
and particularly, encouraging women to upskill
yes.
in, digital.
Women, please stop starting. If you fail this business, you tell your husband, give me 1 million, they give you. Stop starting. Learn the right skills so that you can build a business that your children can come and run tomorrow. So that you can build a business like Toyota. My vision for 2021 is to train at least 10,000 agilists for them to leverage the opportunities that abound. Google has not opened their office since COVID. People are working from home. But they will not hire you because you have gone to do Google digital marketing course.
Where can the government, come in here to really support, particularly this has to do with the youths and, the women?
Thank you for that question, because it's valuable. Like I told you, I'm just a small fry in the equation of 200 million Nigerians. So I'm calling on sponsors. Sponsor your employees. Sponsor your staff. There's a bank now that is about to sponsor 10 students that is in conversation with me. They are going to sponsor 10 students for the next class. Get your people signed up. If you have to pay directly to this organization, you'll be paying almost $2,000. But this is what Lento wants to do. 2020, if we can reach that mark of 10,000 agilists, it will be a win, because that's dollars being paid to Nigerians in Nigeria without leaving the shores of this country. I'm being paid that, and I'm not left the shores of this country. So if I can, you can. You can. Anybody can. And that's the vision for me.
How will that help to shore up our reserve that is dwindling, talking about the dollar?
If we start earning the right amount of money, take for instance in China, I mean, every money that goes there is shipped back into Africa. They use it to produce products and send it to Africa to make money. Say, for instance, I start earning money in dollars. Would I not set up a business and do some side hustle and start investing? Am I not going to employ people? So that is, it's an entire value chain of opportunity that Agile presents itself. But we need, first and foremost, to rethink our mind, learn the right skill. Do you know how much you have spent on MBA certification, MSc? If you spend a fraction of that to learn about Agile, you will change the game forever.
Well, let's just hope that we get it right. Going into 2021, Mercy, thank you very much. And, well, I would have said Merry Christmas, but may I seek your permission? Could you please wait?
I'll wait.
Yeah, because I would have to bring you back on the set. Thank you.
Thank you so much.